And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gym of Crypto, episode 510. Today is Monday, December 2nd, and I'm King. Of course, here to bridge the gap between the community and crypto every day, Monday through Friday at 10ish for the most parts. Even though today, of course, is a 10ish day, tomorrow will be a different time. And of course, we're going to bring you the top stories today. American citizen arrested for educating North Korea on blockchain and crypto. Trump isn't sold on Bakkt CEO Loeffler becoming U.S. Senator. China crypto exchange IDEX locks up cold wallet as CEO goes missing. Vertcoin 51% attack motive uncertain as hackers lose up to $4,000. SoftBank releases debit cards with built-in blockchain wallet. And last but not least, peer-to-peer Bitcoin marketplace Paxful set to surpass local Bitcoins in volume. So a lot of good news going on today. Of course, let's go ahead and check out those prices first and foremost. All in the red for the most part. Bitcoin's at $7,274, down 0.55% on the 24-hour clock. Ethereum's at $147.65, down 1.52%. XRP is at 21 cents, down 1.71%. Bitcoin Cash is at $213, up 0.31%. Litecoin is at $45, down 4.18%. And EOS is at $2.67, down $3.19. So now looking great for the for crypto. Of course, like we said, we saw a small little build up when we hit 7,500 last couple of days over the holiday, and then it went right back down. So I expect to see this here unless we get another parabolic bull run like we did at the beginning of December in 2017. What's going on, Tiffany from New York? Madam Crypto, hello. Okay, top story of the day. American citizen arrested for educating North Korea on blockchain and crypto. That is right. Today, United States prosecutors announced the arrest of Virgil Griffin, who allegedly traveled to the Democratic People's Republic of Korea to deliver a presentation on how to use cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology to circumvent sanctions. According to November 29th announcement, the 36-year-old Griffin was arrested at the Los Angeles International Airport. I just missed this a couple days ago, and will be charged with conspiring to violate the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, the IEEPA. The charges carry a maximum term of 20 years in prison. U.S. Attorney General Jeffrey S. Berman stated, as alleged, Virgil Griffin provided highly technical information to North Korea, knowing that this information could be used to help North Korea launder money and evade sanctions. And in allegedly doing so, Griffin jeopardized the sanctions that both Congress and the president have enacted to place maximum pressure on North Korea's dangerous regime. Gang, people. Placing maximum pressure on that regime, okay? It's crazy to actually see the story. It's even crazier to see the U.S. Attorney General actually comment on it, but that just goes to show how big cryptocurrency actually is in the White House, even though they're not talking about it. And that's kind of like my beef with it, right? You're talking, you're arresting a guy for what I'm assuming is providing public information, because it's not hard to talk about how a country can use cryptocurrency to avoid sanctions. I mean, literally a kid in that country can create a cryptocurrency. As long as the country uses it, boom, you have your own currency, right? So for them to actually arrest them on this, and then for the U.S. Attorney General to say something, that's saying a lot. And again, it's saying a lot on the opposite side of the aisle, where the U.S. Attorney General will come out and talk about this arrest and talk about him helping a foreign government, yet our own government doesn't even talk about cryptocurrency as we know it. The White House doesn't talk about cryptocurrency. So it's one of those things where our government right now is trying to stick their head in the sand like this thing is going to go away. But as we saw with the internet and email technology doesn't just go away. So looks like Griffin was a U.S. citizen living in Singapore. He was previously denied permission to travel to North Korea by the U.S. Department of State. So it looked like he actually did check. And he went against that decision and presented at the North Korean cryptocurrency conference, violating the U.S. sanctions against the North Korean government. FBI Assistant Director in Charge, William F. Sweeney Jr. said, there are deliberate reasons sanctions have been levied on North Korea. The country and its leader pose a literal threat to our national security and that of our allies. Mr. Griffin allegedly traveled to North Korea without permission from the federal government, and with the knowledge of what he was doing was against the law. We cannot allow anyone to evade sanctions because the consequences of North Korea obtaining funding technology and information to further its desire to build nuclear weapons, put the world at risk. It's even more egregious that a U.S. citizen allegedly chose to aid our adversary. Again, it's one of those things where it's the boogeyman in the closet argument. Nuclear weapons, weapons of mass destruction, WMDs. Haven't we heard this all from Bush Jr.? It's not true, people. It is not true. There has so far only been one country to have a nuclear weapon to ever use it, and it's gang. You already know it's the United States, so scaring people away from doing business with other countries, especially when you're just talking about technology and arresting your citizens, we're going down a slippery slope. I get where the U.S. is coming from. Again, this is a gang, whether you want to admit it or not. We don't want you helping out people we're not cool with. If you do that, you will face penalties, criminal penalties, and that's what's happening here. But honestly, I mean, again, this guy, Virgil Griffith, I'm sure he's an astute person in the community, but I haven't heard of him. So it's not like you're sitting Adam back over there. You're sitting somebody who has a lot of knowledge in the Bitcoin project or some other big project in cryptocurrency over to North Korea to help them build their mastermind crypto to evade sanctions or something crazy, right? It's not going down like that. It's a guy who knows about cryptocurrency, saw a business opportunity, and he went to take it. And unfortunately, he's being prosecuted for that. Again, you shouldn't have broke the laws of the land. When it came to this one, this was an easy one. You definitely don't want to piss off the United States when it comes to North Korea at all, which he decided to do. But again, it's a slippery slope. Our government officials, they don't want to talk about cryptocurrency unless they're talking about prosecuting somebody or some group for doing something with crypto without their permission. So again, slippery slope. It's unfortunate to see, but I'm sure we're going to hear more about this story in the future. Mr. Gibson Sr., what's going on? Sergeant Crypto, PFC Wells. PFC Wells on the track said this whole thing don't make sense. It doesn't. It's crazy. Sergeant Crypto said can't teach people how to code nowadays, right? What's going on, Clarence Dennison? Let's see. PFC Wells says, see, that's why I ask people, how serious are you about this blockchain and crypto thing? Are you willing to give up U.S. citizenship? Most are not. Exactly. What's going on, Tony Nolly? Clarence Dennison said, get all the YouTube people copying you guys. Appreciate that for sure. Crazy story. In other crazier news, another top story. I'm not sure the title update. I tried to update the title. I'm not sure if it actually saved on YouTube, so I may have to go back. But wow, Trump isn't sold on Bakkt CEO Kelly Loeffler becoming U.S. Senator. Well, guess what, President Trump? I am not sold either. If you don't remember who this is, again, this is Bakkt's CEO. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp is expected to appoint. That's right, people. This is it's how the rich get richer, people. It's in a voting process over here, which is not democracy. We're about to appoint this thing. Brian Kemp is expected to appoint Kelly Loeffler, CEO of institutional Bitcoin futures platform Bakkt, for a United States Senate seat next week. I mean, you talk about conflict of interest. Is this not it in the flesh, people? Atlanta local news outlet AJC reported on November 29th that Kemp plans to choose Loeffler in a bid to expand the appeal of the Republican Party to women. If nominated, Bakkt CEO will become just the second woman to serve in the United States Senate from Georgia. Furthermore, Loeffler could also finance GOP activities with her personal fortune, which the outlet suggests could break fundraising records. So they kind of already hit on it, but you've only had one woman serve in the United States Senate from Georgia. So that kind of already goes to show how you feel, about how you possibly feel about women serving. But out of all the women out there to serve, you suddenly happen to fall upon the golden goose, right? The CEO of Bakkt, as well as a very wealthy woman. So again, conflict of interest. We already know that Bakkt, again, while it's for institutional investors, it's a futures market. There's a whole lot of things that's going on with it that we've talked about in the past, specifically talking about how nobody else out there can launch these platforms, but all of a sudden Bakkt and some other, big corporations and institutions, CME, CBO, all these places, they got these hall passes from government regulators, which is insane. Again, no other new company or new organization or organization that has already existed in the crypto space has been able to launch these services because the government has not even given them a yes or no answer, but literally let people sit in limbo. Yet they've given permission slips and hall passes to organizations like Bakkt, CBO, and CME, everybody who's already plugged into the government and playing the old corrupt game, my hand feeds yours and yours feeds mine type of deal. And in this same game, you're telling me the CEO of one of these organizations is about to become a state senator of Georgia. Madness, people. I mean, they're getting appointed to it too, which is even crazier. This is literally about to get handed a very high-ranking government seat for an entire state, as well as being the CEO of a futures platform in cryptocurrency involving money. I mean, again, the corruption is widespread, but it's crazy to actually see this. Trump actually doesn't back. Trump doesn't back CEO, if no pun intended. Now she likes President Trump. She said all the right talking points. Said, hey, if chosen, I would stand with President Trump, Senator David Perdue, and you to keep America great. She added that, hey, she wants to strengthen the border, shut down drug and human trafficking, lower healthcare costs, and protect the national interest of the U.S. I mean, look, I'm a person who multitasks. If you know me, I have a lot of careers as well, do a lot of different things. But are you telling me that the CEO of a futures platform that just launched for what may be a burgeoning financial industry, global financial industry, also has the same time and dedication to being a government official, which, by the way, is supposed to be a volunteer type of service job. And they have the time and expertise to not only run a futures financial platform, but to also go and help strengthen the border, shut down drug and human trafficking, lower healthcare costs, and protect the national interest of the United States. I mean, people, I smell it from a mile away. It's crazy. Again, President Trump's no fan of Loeffler. Various party leaders, including President Trump, reportedly pressed to choose U.S. Representative Doug Collins instead. Republican leaders have pushed for the appointment of Collins, given his strong support for Trump, gun rights, and anti-abortion efforts. So again, it's one of those things where it's kind of crazy to see her come into it, where Trump doesn't even really want her to be there. But again, if she gets it, it will definitely be a big win on her record, as well as Bakkt futures platform. You got to be insane. You don't think they're going to benefit from this, which is probably why on her side she wants to get in there, the good old boys club, as they call it. But Trump and some other people are looking at her as being too moderate. That's something I actually agree with. Regardless of her talking points, I think she's just trying to get that seat. Or, if she does get that seat, she'll kind of go back to doing what she's going to do anyway. She's a very wealthy person. And again, the CEO of Bakkt's futures platform. So, yeah, if you're already doing a lot of stuff in cryptocurrency, you're probably more moderate than what the current administration likes already anyway. So, again, crazy story to see. But hell, we're giving out government positions. All you need is some money. Come on down and get one, people. Sergeant Crypto said she's got to bend the knee to get the tap, but Trump just wants his own crony in that position. Exactly. Trump just wants a guy he already knows. I mean, look at Doug Collins, David Perdue. These are some old names you heard before. They're all part of the club. And yeah, I kind of agree. Again, she's the president of Bakkt. She's already showed to be moderate or at least compromising because you have a cryptocurrency platform already, so that's not going along with the current administration. But again, it might be a blessing in disguise for the crypto community, though. As much as I'm railing against her because of these unfair practices of our government, she didn't do anything wrong. She's like, hey, you want to appoint me? But it actually could be, as I said, a positive for the community, because if she does get this position and she decides to push more cryptocurrency initiatives, it could help everyone, because at the end of the day, it's definitely going to help her bottom line as well. So we will check that out in the future. I'm sure we'll hear more about it. China, crypto exchange IDEX locks up cold wallet as CEO goes missing. There we go. IDEX. I don't know why this is hard. If your CEO goes missing in action, also known as MIA, they go MIA, missing in action, just lock everything up. Everything shuts down. This is crazy. It's happening far too often. Chinese cryptocurrency exchange IDEX has suspended deposits and withdrawals after its CEO allegedly disappeared. Now, if you've been in the crypto community, you know this is this is on trail, on par for course. This is part of the movie we've seen many times. In the last year and a half, 2 years alone, I think we've had about 6 to 7 or 8 CEOs disappear or die and nobody has been found. I don't know. But in a blog post on November 29th, IDEX, which earlier this week warned it was seeing a run on withdrawals, said the whereabouts of Li Gurong were currently unknown. That's their CEO. Their cold wallet access has been restricted. Quote, since we have announced the announcement on November 24th, IDEX Global CEO have gone missing with unknown cause, and IDEX global staffs were out of touch with IDEX global CEO, it reads. The blog post continues that as a precaution, the company's Cold Wallet was on lockdown to protect user funds. For this reason, access to Cold Wallet, which is stored almost all cryptocurrency balances on IDEX, has been restricted. So in effect, deposit withdrawal service cannot be provided. I'm assuming this has been translated, but good. Again, hand clap. I'm happy to see this, people. Like, we all know about exit scams in the space. We know they are real. In IDEX, it looks like whoever the rest of the team of executives were, they're doing a great job over there. They already warned people again a week ago that, hey, there's been a run on withdrawals right now, some unknown activity, and then their CEO goes missing after those run on withdrawals. I think this is a great play by them. The good thing about cryptocurrency, people, is that this is all digital. And especially when you're talking about exchanges, they have so many bots, so many algorithms, so many things running to spot irregularities. There it is, people. To spot them, that they can stop them right after they happen or as they happen. So if you're seeing a run on withdrawals, something that your exchange doesn't normally see, or withdrawal amounts and frequency that you don't normally see, the exchange can actually catch that if they have the right algorithms already working, right? So they spotted that already, and then the CEO goes missing. Again, there's no more talking. This Cold Wallet restricted. Change the passwords, change the keys on the house, all of that. And I suggest people out there do the same thing. If you have a wallet exchange you use, if you're getting or using the email and you start getting weird stuff to it, or you're logging out, you can't log in, or something's going wrong, it just doesn't feel right, scrape it. Just go ahead and reset the passwords, redo the two-factor authentication, everything, just top to bottom, redo it. So that's what they look like they're doing here. I'm glad, again, to see this, because some exchanges will sit and wait on it, and then next thing you know, the CEO will be gone with all the money. I'm not saying that this CEO is doing it. I'm sure he just overslept for a week or two. He's in some island paradise. But until he shows up, the money stays locked down. So another thing to remember, not your keys, not your crypto, people. Make sure you have your own private keys. What's going on, Blockchain Shuja? What's going on, Christopher Ladd? Did anyone catch Keep Keys $5 crypto wallet sale? I bought 2. Nice. Maximilian Price, what's up, what's up? Sergeant Crypto said, or he could be a kidnap victim. That is true, but he said, nah, he was caught scamming, LOL. Right, we've seen kidnappings happen in this space. We've seen it all when it comes to these CEOs. So it wouldn't surprise me if he was kidnapped. I hope he isn't. But on the flip side, it's like, I hope he's not missing trying to run a play either. I mean, both are bad. So we'll see what happens. But another attacks, it looks like Vertcoin, 51% attack, motive uncertain as hackers lose up to $4,000. That's right. Somebody tried it. Look, hackers gonna hack. That's the thing we gotta wrap our head around. It's the same thing as criminals. When they talk about criminals use cryptocurrency or fiat currency or whatever, criminals gonna criminal and hackers gonna hack, people. These are facts. Looks like unknown hackers have attempted to launch a second 51% attack on Vertcoin, but end up paying for the privilege out of their own pockets. Now, again, a 51% attack is when you take over a cryptocurrency blockchain or network, and thus you can own all the transactions moving forward, right? As Vertcoin's lead maintainer, James Lovejoy, revealed in a report on the attack on December 2nd, a malicious entity targeted cryptocurrency exchange Bittrex in order to manipulate the Vertcoin blockchain. That's right, people. Bittrex is in the news twice in the last 7 days for something not positive. I told you they're dying. I mean, whenever you got the hackers going after your exchange left and right too like that, where they think it's a quick opening, you're dying. But hackers paid at least $440 to attack Vertcoin. Vertcoin forked off from Bitcoin in 2014, goes to show how old it is, and experienced a major attack in December of last year, during which hackers stole funds worth of $100,000. This time, however, it appears the exploit was much less successful. Based on the market prices during the attack's preparation and the difficulty of the blocks the attacker produced, we estimate the attacker spent between 0.5 to 1 Bitcoin to perform the attack, Lovejoy explained. As a result, the hackers appear to have come out with a net loss of between 0.06 Bitcoin, $440, and 0.56 Bitcoin, $4,100. The total value of the block rewards the attack received is 13,825 BTC, which is 0.44 Bitcoin. Given the attack was likely not profitable to perform based solely on block rewards, the motivation for the attack is not certain. So some people weren't sure if they were actually attacking Bittrex and this just happened to pop up and they were like, hey, let's just try to get this money too. Or were they actually going after Vertcoin? And you know what? I'm glad to actually bring up things like Vertcoin, because these are the coins we talk about when we say you can still get a nice little quick pump and dump if you're already bought into it. These are the coins that have been around again for a while. Some of them, like Vertcoin, while smaller, still have some communities, and people still try to manipulate it. Whether they're trying to pump and dump it, whether they're trying to hack it or whatever, it's still alive. So when we talk about some of these coins here, and I'm not even sure the price of Vertcoin now. I think it said was about 0.61 or less than 61 cent, or it's 23 cents, excuse me. It's fallen to 23 cent in the past 24 hours. So at 23 cent, if I were interested in something like Vertcoin, especially since it's down 7% after a hack or whatever, you will buy a small amount of this or whatever, or however much you plan to invest or trade with, and then you just have your sell order set. And eventually, if a bull market commences and everything starts getting pumped and dumped, pumped and dumped, pump and dump, eventually hackers and pump and dumpers and scammers will make their way to Vertcoin, and they will do the same thing, people. It just happens like that because it's still an old coin that has community. They talked about Andreas Antonopoulos toward the end, something we've talked about. He said about hacking the Bitcoin network. As he previously noted, with Bitcoin, such an attack will cost $1 billion for a 10-minute offensive, something which in itself is all but impossible to achieve. He also noted that even with that $1 billion in that 10-minute offensive on the Bitcoin network, two things you would need is, first, you would need to keep this quiet long enough to actually do. So you must be either a large organization or a government organization or a country. You have to keep it quiet long enough to actually perform the attack. And then you have to hope no one notices on that first 10 minutes. You're looking at their nose, which more than likely people will, because people are mining Bitcoin around the clock and have those same algorithms and bots I just talked about in place to spot irregularities. So highly unlikely that a 51% attack will happen on Granddaddy Bitcoin, which is why it is still the top dog out there in regards to market share, of course. So good to see. SoftBank is in the news as they release a debit card or cards with built-in blockchain wallet. Pretty cool. I hope it works, because I know this thing has been, people keep swinging for the fence on this blockchain or crypto debit card. So hopefully they got it figured out. Japanese holding company SoftBank has introduced a new debit card featuring a built-in cryptocurrency wallet. According to a press release on December 1st, SoftBank developed a debit card featuring a built-in blockchain wallet in collaboration with United States-based wallet card developer Dynamics. The new product is called SBC Wallet Cards and can be used as a traditional debit card or a blockchain wallet. That's pretty cool. Looks like consumers can use the integrated blockchain wallet as both cold and hot digital currency storage and check balance related information in real time. Currently, the card is available exclusively in Japan. However, SoftBank plans to roll out the product in Southeast Asia, South Korea, and the United States and Dubai in the future. Again, pretty cool to see. Now, the biggest thing with this is all about the API. How can you connect the various wallets, accounts for spending, receiving, and then, of course, your traditional wallets and accounts? And how does that all fall under Know Your Customer anti-money laundering? Because, again, you're talking about SoftBank, big company, big organization, actual bank. I'm sure they have rules and regulations. So I don't know. I haven't used it. I'm wondering, does this thing work as a traditional card, as they say, where you have all the, all the trappings of a traditional debit card, and then they allow you to have all this crypto stuff? Is it separate? Is it the same? Are you giving these reports to the government? How does it work? All of that stuff is not explained. But again, if a bank's launching it, I'm under the assumption that yes, they're probably going to be following the same rules and regulations as they would every other account, which of course a lot of people in cryptocurrency don't like to see. But if they can get this working, I think it'll be great. If somebody can actually get the technology to work, because the next step is having a debit card that can link to your crypto wallet on your cell phone or your laptop to a point where there is no third party of SoftBank or whoever bank that's that third party intermediary. So if the technology can work to actually have a debit card and to use this, then I'm sure someone else can figure out, okay, now how do we exclude this third party and still use this same technology on the crypto side, right? So pretty cool to see. I do think this is the future because people want easier ways to spend their crypto. Again, everyone isn't up on the phone wallets and all that stuff. So I look forward to it. I mean, it'll be pretty cool. Sergeant Crypto says SoftBank have to waste. They just took a big L. They have they have to waste. They just took a big L with WeWork. That's how you know traditional equities market is super inflated because of all this free money burning. You know, I thought I heard their name before. I couldn't remember where, but yeah, if they were back in WeWork, then yeah, they are taking a big L right now. Did they give WeWork that new cash infusion? Was that them? Was it like a $9 billion or $14 billion cash infusion? So yeah, you're right. If that is them, then this market is super inflated. And I'm with them. Let's go ahead and get some debit cards, push it out there. Let's derivatives on top of derivatives and make this thing work. All right, last but not least, peer-to-peer Bitcoin marketplace Paxful set to surpass local Bitcoins in volume. Many hand claps. Part of this hand clap is the Bitcoin Zay. He actually did a video on Paxful probably about 2 years ago now, still on their YouTube channel. I believe the video was like all the different ways to spend and receive and use Bitcoin with Paxful, which are hundreds of ways at this point probably. And of course, the second hand clap is that local Bitcoins is dying as well. This is what happens. Again, I understand it from the business point of view. I mean, local Bitcoins was rolling. They probably didn't want to give in to government pressure when they got that tap on the shoulder, but they did give in. And ever since they gave in, people stopped using it. Why? Because as I just stated, people in the cryptocurrency sector do not like all of this government spying for no reason, or they don't like all these entities giving up your information without your consent, especially to governments or other large organizations. So it looks like peer-to-peer Bitcoin marketplace Paxful recently hit an all-time high in weekly traded volume. As of December 2nd, CoinDance data reveals that for the week of November 23rd, Paxful saw close to 30 million in peer-to-peer Bitcoin trades, continuing a consistent upward trend since the platform's inception. So again, shout out to Paxful. Pretty cool to see. If you don't know, Paxful is a peer-to-peer over-the-counter platform that connects users offering to buy and sell Bitcoin using gift cards, PayPal, domestic bank transfers, and other payment methods. As a decentralized and non-custodial service, Paxful reportedly sees Bitcoin trades denominated in 70 different national fiat currencies and has seen 20 to 25 million in trades weekly throughout much of 2019. And again, they talk about this upward trend since 2015 with local Bitcoins, and how, of course, after they saw their arc in 2017, they have now started to slightly decrease and remain the same for much of 2018, with the last few months seeing a downturn with a consistently sub 40 million levels throughout October and November. So they're on a downward spiral as Paxful is going up. And it sounds all good and great, but honestly, what's probably going to happen, which is unfortunate, is that as Paxful continues to grow and they continue to make waves and make these headlines and get more users, they're going to get the same tap on the shoulder by the same government that just arrested citizens for going to North Korea talking about cryptocurrency without nobody's permission. Paxful will get that same tap on the shoulder, and they're going to be told either get down or lay down. Hopefully, they decide to fight that good fight, but we shall see what happens in the future. I'm sure couple more headlines like this we'll know before the end of next year, right? Other than that, that is the news for the day, people. Again, a lot going on in the crypto world. I saw talks about the halvening are starting to come up more. I expect that to dominate the news cycle coming into next year, as well as organizational buys of Bitcoin, because if the halvening does have any reflection on the price, especially in the upward direction, organizations are going to try to get as much Bitcoin as they can in the meantime, but that remains to be seen. So I think that's going to dominate the news cycle coming in next year. Happening. I'm seeing news about it today. Some people think it will affect the price. Some people think it don't, but it remains to be seen. Other than that, as always, thanks for watching, people. Make sure you smash that like and share. And of course, I will see you all tomorrow with some more crypto news. Cheers.